And thank you so much once again for joining us. We are still at the Zimbabwe Council for Higher and Tertiary Education One-Day International Expo, where they've been holding or hosting international exhibitors here. We are so much excited and honored to have the CEO for Zimbabwe, Professor Dzvimbo. Thank you so much for taking your time to have us right here.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine to talk to you.
We are so much honored. I understand you are the CEO of this very special institution in Zimbabwe. That's the Zimbabwe Council for Higher Education. Yeah. And today we have been having the UK-based educators or international educators. Of what significance is such an event to you?
Well, the event is very important, primarily because this is the first time that Zimbabwe and the Zimbabwean higher education system in particular is now beginning to put the building blocks for internationalizing higher education in this country. It is also significant in the sense that we are partnering with a big university from the United Kingdom, the University of Nottingham. So we had three colleagues from Nottingham, Professor Juliet Pondlana, who was once a professor at the University of Zimbabwe, and Professor Paul Knight and Professor Abu Rahman, who came. They are coming from an institution that has got a long history in the internationalization of higher education. So for us, their coming serves two purposes. One, it is a benchmarking exercise. But number two, it is a golden opportunity for them to actually have an input into the development of our own framework for internationalization of higher and tertiary education in this country. So in effect, we have leapfrogged where most institutions are by partnering with a very important institution. But the second reason why this is so poignant and so important is that we had our Minister of Higher and Tertiary Education, Professor Dr. Amon Mugwera, who really unpacked what the whole area of internationalization of higher education is all about. He unpacked it and he made the connection between internationalization of higher education and Education 5.0 and its philosophy of heritage-based education. So to the uninitiated or even those that were doubting to understand the connection between Education 5.0, heritage-based education, and internationalization of higher and tertiary education in this country, it was very clear. So the framework covers everything that we want to talk about and we want to implement in terms of higher and tertiary education in this country. So it is like the building blocks so that every institution in this country, whether private or public, teacher training or a polytechnic, will now be able to implement a higher and tertiary education framework in its own institution and attract international students, either from the region or from the global north or from the global south. Because the minister is saying to us, Zimbabwe has a very sophisticated higher and tertiary education system, and we should be able to offer a very good product to people that are coming from outside. And then it becomes one of our foreign exchange earners. But more importantly, because this is what the president is talking about, Zimbabwe is open for business. So for the first time we're saying higher education institutions in this country are open for business. So that is the significance. Thank you.
That was quite profound. While you were explaining that, you're actually answering most of my upcoming questions. But let me ask an issue of implementation. To what extent are we going to be seeing this? Because I saw this as a very good visionary move from the ministry and you as well as the Council of Education. How prepared and what are you going to be doing to make sure that our institutions are going to conform or they leapfrog to the internationalization of this education system?
No, yeah, implementation is going to be very easy because now we have the framework. So we as the Zimbabwe Council for Higher Education are going to say to our institutions, are you ready? And one way for most of these institutions to actually implement this is to get a director in charge of international education, to have a unit that is responsible for international education or foreign students that are coming to this institution, so that when foreign students come, just like the minister was saying, they know where to go, They've got people that they can talk to. There are people that can even meet them at the airport and bring them to the institution, find accommodation for them, help them to register, and help them to start their courses, and help them to become part and parcel of either Midland State University, University of Zimbabwe, Great Zimbabwe
Do you
University.
think we can now attract such international students
Yes,
to come?
yes. At the moment, Zimbabwe is attracting international students. Yes, you heard what Professor Bebe was saying. If we open up our medical school, we won't be able to get everybody who wants to come in from Botswana, from Malawi, from Zambia, from Mozambique, even from Kenya, even from West Africa.
Why are we not opening it up?
We're not opening it up because we don't have enough spaces. We don't have enough place for our own people. For instance, we limit the number of people that go to medical school because we need more facilities, more labs, more equipment, more consumables, more staff. So until and unless we increase that, we can't increase the numbers. So that's why. But once now we have got this, and with the full support of the minister, who is extremely creative and wants to disrupt the system, we will be able to attract foreign students in most of our programs. Because the Zimbabwean higher education system is one of the best in the region. If you go to South Africa, most Zimbabweans, you find them everywhere, in the public sector, in the private sector, and the universities. I was a deputy vice chancellor of a university in South Africa, so you saw Professor Sabelondo, he's a senior academic at UNISA. So we will be able to attract foreign students. So the answer is yes to that question.
Well, one of the biggest challenges that we've always had as Zimbabweans, especially from an educational perspective, is we are grooming graduates who are excellent in their classes and their marks, but locally we are not able to employ them or give them any source of sustenance after that. How are you seeing this, and what do you recommend we do to solve this?
No, but the answer is there. That's why Professor Dr. Amon Murwira, our Minister of Higher Education...
For the benefit of our viewers who are not part of this whole engagement.
This is why he's talking of Education 5.0, that the emphasis is on teaching, the emphasis now is on research, the emphasis is on innovation, the emphasis is on industrialization, and the emphasis is on commercialization. That universities must now expose their students on how to produce goods and services. And there are universities that are doing so already. The University of Zimbabwe, if you go to Chinhoyi University of Technology, they've got fantastic innovative projects that have now been commercialized. You can actually buy a block of vitamin C for your cattle from Chinhoyi University or from the shops in town that they are producing. You can go to Chinhoyi University, they now produce semen for export and for local use. You go to UZ, they are now into small grains, they are now into indigenous knowledge systems, especially in pharmaceutical sciences. So the answer is yes. What Education 5.0 has done with the leadership of Professor Murwira is that we are no longer training students to seek employment. We are training students to create employment and generate wealth for this country. So the answer to your question is very simple. Yes, the product we are now producing in our higher education systems, we will not go and say, I beg to apply for a job. He or she wants to create employment, and in the process, create wealth for himself, for herself, and for the country.
Professor Dzvimbo, thank you
it's
so
a pleasure,
much
sir.
for the time. We
Thank
fully
you.
appreciate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so that was Professor Dzvimbo, who is the CEO of our Zimbabwe Council for Higher and Education, speaking on a plethora of things as far as the education system is concerned in Zimbabwe. www.techmec.tv. Ciao, ciao.